Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah and very good morning. Greetings to our honorable speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Agostinos Lis Indranto, fellow academicians, students, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this talk session, which we will listen to a topic which is very much spoken at present, that is COVID-19. Before we begin, I would like to request all attendees to switch off your mics and videos so that we may have a better and smoother connection. You may switch on your mic if you have questions during the Q&A session. All right, so for this talk, we will divide into two sessions. First session is 1 hour talk and presentation by our speaker. The second session is a 15-minute Q&A session from the attendees. So ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 first reported in December 2019 in China before wider spread around the world. This disease, this disease is then declared as a pandemic by the World Health Organization in March 2020. The pandemic has since caused huge impact on various industries, and in particular the tourism and hospitality related businesses such as the travel, transportation, hotels and events. In order to contain the virus, governments around the world implement Movement Control Order or MCO. This has restricted movements and thus halted many tourism and hospitality business activities. The immediate effect is that many businesses incurred heavy loss and had to limit their operation capacity, which directly affect the well-being of their staff. Overall, the industry has a huge task in facing the challenges during this pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to have with us today Assistant Professor Dr. Agostinos Lis Indranto, Dean Faculty of Tourism, Universitas Ciputra, Surabaya, Indonesia. He will talk and walk us through a topic titled Tourism Indonesia Facing Challenges During COVID-19 Pandemic. Before we hand the mic over to our speaker, allow me to introduce Dr. Agus. Assistant Professor Dr. Agostinos Lis Indranto is the Dean of the Faculty of Tourism, Universitas Ciputra, Surabaya, Indonesia. He obtained his first degree in English Literature from UK Petra, Surabaya. So he is a Dean of the Faculty of Tourism, Universitas Ciputra, Surabaya, Indonesia. He obtained his first degree in English Literature from UK Petra, Surabaya. He also holds a master's degree in tourism from Monash University, and his PhD was awarded by Universiti Utara, Malaysia. He has extensive teaching experience at a number of higher learning institutions, and currently he is with the Faculty of Tourism, Universitas Ciputra as a Dean. He also teaches tourism-related subjects, and his interest is destination branding and tourism marketing. So with extensive experience, he also currently a Vice Chairman of the East Chapter in Indonesia Hotel and Restaurant Association, National Hotel Auditor, the Secretary of Surabaya Heritage, the Advisor of Surabaya Tourism Object Forum, and caretaker of Heritage Cluster Surabaya Tourism Promotion Board. Dr. Agus contributed extensively in the tourism and hospitality development and activities, especially around Surabaya City. He is a founder of the Surabaya Hotel Award and the City of Surabaya's Sparkling Surabaya tagline. He held various positions previously. He has served as consultant for Surabaya Government Tourism Office, Vice Chairman 3 of the Hotel Auditor Indonesia, and was the Director of Event and Promotion of Surabaya Tourism Promotion Board. Okay, we have listened to Dr. Agus' brief biodata and his credibility. Now, without further ado, let us listen to Dr. Agus' talk. Dr. Agus, the mic is yours. You may switch on your video and unmute your mic. Thank you very much. Please enjoy the talk.
Thank you. A very good morning for everybody. Thank you so much for having me to share the insight from what Indonesia's condition at the moment. Once again, it is my great pleasure to be here to have a discussion with you, to share what happening in Indonesia. I think what happening in us in Indonesia is also happening also in Malaysia. But let me share you about what are we facing today, especially in Indonesia. So it was an awful moment for us, for tourism people everywhere in the world, especially us in Indonesia also. And for me personally, I really miss visiting UUM. I really miss going there. And usually, at least two times a year, I go to UUM and enjoy my time there. So hopefully, this pandemic is over soon. So today, I'm going to deliver about the conditions of Indonesian and how the Indonesian tourism cope with it, the challenges of Indonesian tourism. Let me share my slide. Can you see the slide?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So Indonesia tourism facing challenges during COVID-19. This pandemic is also happening all over the world. Of course, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Thailand, everywhere in the world. I would like to share this first slide. It's about talking about the global economic challenges. As we know that this is happening all over the world. This is the data that I got from 2020. Yeah, last year's, of course, because this year the data is not up yet. And then we can see the growth is in Indonesian in 2020. There's still a slight growth of economic growth. Yeah, it's only 1%. Before that is 5.0%. All over the world, there is also a decrease. Most of them are decreased if you see the numbers from Australia, Canada, Japan, South Korea, Russia. They have a minus growth. Yeah, I don't know I don't have the figure from Malaysia at this slide, but India, China, Indonesia have experienced a slight growth. Yeah, on economics in terms of economic conditions during 2020. So of course, this condition because of COVID. Indonesia predict actually before the pandemic 2020 will be the high growth for Indonesia economics. But again, the pandemic hits everywhere, and Indonesia, luckily, we still have a small growth. I think some of you have seen this diagram everywhere. I think maybe some of you have seen, some of them not, but this diagram is quite popular. And this diagram or this picture showing us how is the economic at the moment because of the economic of the COVID. So it's recording the economic of COVID. This show there are two circles, the potential loser and potential winner of the industry. As you can see on the right side, I mean the potential winners, yeah, the number one industry, the medical supply and service, it is reasonable. Why? Because everywhere, of course, everybody needs, and now it's talking about health, and now the industry who are dealing with medical supply and services, the medicines, vitamins, all the doctor equipment, and hospital and clinic having their own what do you call it benefit in terms of profits. Because it is if it is a business, they have good profit at this moment. And the second one is food processing. Before the pandemic, I'm talking in the case of Indonesia, maybe in Malaysia also, but before the pandemics, food processing or eating frozen food or eating canned food is not really suggested because it's considered not healthy and so on. It's better to eat fresh meat and fresh vegetable instead of taking the frozen food. But at this moment, food processing, retail at food processing, frozen food is higher. The demand is so high. Even a big player in Indonesia, like the company that used to be not having food processing, they are jumping into food processing business, frozen food and etc. Because everybody needs to stay at home and also consume the food without going out to buy food as often as they used to be. Of course, the third one is personal health care. Like everywhere now, people are taking the hand sanitizer everywhere, alcohol for the hands and the white tissue, the wet tissue. So everything with dealing with personal hygiene will be bigger. And you can see the ICT, the commerce thing, the Wi-Fi is big in Indonesia. The numbers of internet users increasingly has increased intensively in Indonesia. In commerce number also, agriculture, and as you can see in the middle is oil and gas. Oil and gas is still what do you call it, is a average growth, a medium, and it's also like a stagnant growth. They are not decreasing, also not increasing. Educations, and unfortunately in terms of education, they including as the potential loser, but in terms of loser, what I mean by loser is not the quality of education, but how we how deliver the education. I mean, now we are forced to do it online. Everywhere we do it online. In Indonesia, we have problems because there are great disparity between a city and also a village. So because of the parts area of Indonesia, and there are so many islands, small islands, if they cannot reach the internet and so on and so on. So the infrastructure of the education is really has put more concern for the Indonesian government. So education has been very challenging for Indonesia. But now at the moment, especially in the big city, people are get used to it, get used to have a online study and so on. So financial services and education go up there, and now we are facing the bottom of the potential losers. This is our industry, tourism and leisure. So these conditions happening all over the world. In Indonesia, especially tourism and leisure is devastating, especially in the tourist hub. Unfortunately, Indonesia has several tourist hubs that suffer a lot of economic damage because of COVID-19. So I will explain a little bit later on. But this is the conditions of the world's economy. I think some are relevant to Indonesia and some also relevant to Malaysia. But overall, in general, we are agree that tourism and leisure now at the bottom of the pyramid in terms of the potential losers of the industry. As you can see, the aviation, Indonesian aviation also recently have got bad news from the crash of Sriwijaya Air 182 from Jakarta to Pontianak. It is also adding the number of aviation industry in Indonesia. The people are afraid of traveling using the airplanes. But of course, this is a what do you call it? It's a disaster. It's accident that we cannot predict. So this is the conditions. Next, I'm going to talk about Indonesia tourism challenges. Well, actually, talking about challenges, Indonesia is unfortunately has experience. Here. As maybe some of you remember that we have natural disaster, the great natural disaster. So the challenges of Indonesia consists of three, if I can divide it. The first is natural disasters. The second is terrorism. And the third one is disease. Yeah, talking about natural disasters, from tsunami Aceh was one of the biggest tsunami in the world. Killed 230,000 people all around the globe. The most victims are from Indonesia, from Aceh regions, also affecting Malaysia, exposed, and Thailand and all the surrounding regions. This was a devastating moment at the time. Of course, if maybe some of you have been to Indonesia, you know that Aceh is at the top of the country, close to Malaysia. What happened in Aceh not really affected one in Bali or one in Papua. But globally, when people, especially for Western people who don't really understand about the geography of Indonesia, they think, oh, Indonesia is being a big tsunami in Indonesia. So we are at the moment, at the time, what do we call it? They have the understanding that Indonesia is not safe at the time, because of the great tsunami happens in Aceh. Even though at the time in Surabaya, in Jakarta, in Bali, we are okay. Don't affected anything for the Aceh tsunami. But of course, the perspective of the assumption of the Western, especially the Western tourists, they think that what happens in Aceh affect the whole country of Indonesia. So they postpone their traveling and so on. But also happened in Jogja at that time. Also, Jogja is one of the tourist hub in Java. They have a big earthquake at the 2008, and the tourism. At that time, we have the first Bali bombing. This was the first moment in Bali that really devastating all the tourism hub. As we know, Bali is we call it the barometer of Indonesian tourism in terms of international visitors. Because if you're talking about international visitor, Indonesia is always put Bali at the first one. Sometimes people know Bali more than Indonesia. Sometimes they don't know that Bali is a part of Indonesia. But what happened in 2002 really crushing the Bali economic at the time for tourism, because up to now actually Bali is, I can say, 70 to 70% the economy of Bali depends on tourism. That's why when it was in 2002, the Bali bombing crushed the island, crushed in the island economic. At the time I was there, I know how the condition after the Bali bombing. But it was a funny things in terms of statement. At that time, there are so many public opinion from the expert, academician, Indonesian academicians said that Bali needs to recover at least 10 years, at least 5 to 10 years. They saw a lot of statement in the public saying that because the predictions of the tourism will recover needs more than 5 to 10 years. But what happened in Bali, they proved that it is wrong. At that time, just 2 years after that, the Bali tourism gone up again. So I think the number is growing, but of course the first visitor that flooding the Bali is the domestic traveler, and then continue by international visitor start to come again, then increase again, but 2005 get bombed again, drop again. The Bali countries drop again. But once again, tourism proved themselves to be resilient and then grew up again up to now. And Bali was hit by the eruption of Mount Agung. 2017 is the latest eruption in Mount Agung at that time. So it also affected the Indonesian tourism, especially Bali. The disease, Indonesia also experienced disease, but not as severe as now. We have SARS also 2003, avian flu, swine flu, and MERS 2012. But luckily, those four diseases are not really affecting Indonesia as a whole. Affecting the number of Asian tourists coming to Indonesia, yes, but not all as a whole of Indonesian tourism at the moment. So that's the challenge of Indonesia. And this is I saw you some picture. It was a Bali bombing 2002, reported all over the world. It was the devastating moments. Many Western people, especially from Australia, were killed of the terror actions at the time. And then SARS also affecting us, but not really that much. But this is the tsunami Aceh. What, as you remember, at that time, the only building survived is the most. Yeah, it was incredible. So many people are safe because of the most. Then Jogja earthquake also becoming the big issue at that time in 2006. And the latest in Bali is Mount Agung eruption 2017. So this is the challenges that Indonesia has experienced in terms of tourism industry. But once again, the challenges we always bounce back. The Tsunami Aceh Museum was built to commemorate tragedy of Aceh. So we are we hope that the spirits of the tsunami can make people aware of the dangers of the tsunami and so on. So we build this museum. And then in Bali, if some of you have been to Bali, they build also the Bali Mirror monuments. Those are the names of the one who killed under the Bali bombing attack. So this is an Lagian area, the tourist hub, one of the tourist hub in Bali. And then this one is the Lavator Merapi. After the Jogja earthquake, the Merapi earthquake, now they have the new tourist attraction. This is the Lavator. So you can rent the jeep, off-road jeep. We can also track down the route of the volcano of this tour. So we always bounce back in terms of tourism after all the big disasters. But what happens now during the pandemic of COVID-19? We divided into four phases. The first phase of what the pre-COVID, before everything happens. Before everything happens, everything is good, for Indonesian tourism. And then the current situations, and then the recovery programs, and the post-COVID. At this moment I'm speaking, we believe that we are in the current and recovery programs. We are in the middle of the current and recovery program. Why I said that? Because after the vaccine has been done, I mean, in terms of the first vaccine, the first official vaccine was injected to our President Jokowi last Wednesday. So it was like nationally, we hope that it was the beginning of the recovery programs, of a very early age of the recovery programs. But this is what happens. So I explain, or I tell you about the condition of pre-COVID. Well, the Indonesian tourism performance is not bad. 2019, even is a good one. Even though we are not we are not getting the target, because the government targeted 20 million international visitors at that moment by 2019, but we failed to achieve. But we only get 16 million, but the growth number is good. Yeah, from 13 to 16 million is a great number at that time. And also at that time, then we focus on quality tourism instead of quantity tourism. So they said, okay, 16 million is okay because we have more money in terms of last year. So there are around 270 million domestic travelings. So domestic visitor, tourists also, the number increased last year, and our competitiveness index, the world also increased, and the ranks of Indonesian competitiveness is from 14 out of 140 countries. Tourism contributes 5% to the nation's GDP. There are more than 50 million workforce in the industry directly involved in the tourism, and country devisa is around 280 trillion or 20 billion USD. And it makes tourism as the second biggest foreign revenue generator for Indonesia in 2019. We just won, Sawit is still in number one at that time. But we predicted actually 2020 will become the biggest foreign revenue generator, expected to be like that. But COVID-19 comes and everything has been rearranged. Now, I don't think we can reach this number. So this is the Indonesian tourism performance, the pre-COVID conditions. At this moment, the current conditions. Yeah, I took this data on the mid of 2020, around April to May, from the various of data. 160 hotel temporary are not open for business, temporarily shut down. This number is going up and down, of course. Yeah, and throughout Indonesia, this is official number we received from PHRI. PHRI is Hotel and Restaurant Association in Indonesia. We received the report from the hotel all over Indonesia, and then we have a report that 180 tourist destinations are closed at the moment in the mid of 2020. Some of them are now open, some of them are closed, temporarily closed, and 232 village tourism are locked down. Yeah, once again, some of them are already open, and 11,000 businesses are affected. 33 forced boxes are temporary unpaid leave. Now what happened in hotel? So people are working in the hotel. For example, they have 100 staff. So 50% of the staff being unpaid leave, so temporarily unpaid leave, and then the other 50% who work are being paid in half salary, because they have to work only half times of their job. So this is what happened in Indonesian hotel. Yeah, at that moment, I think until now, many hotels also experience this time of situations. And tourism workers lost their job. 3.5 million international arrival up to June only. Yeah, there are still international arrival, but they having a business visa, special purpose visa still arrive. But in the beginning of 2021, the 1st of January, Indonesia closed all the international visitors for any reason. So they closed, not opening any international visitor. Only some with political or dealing with the government and or humanitarians, they are allowed to enter. But other than that, no. Yeah, so this is what is the condition of Indonesia current condition in 2020. We predicted the loss in the middle of 2020 is around 6.997 trillion Indonesian rupiah. So what a big loss for Indonesia at this moment. And there are several news. This is the one of the Indonesian ministry said the comeback topics in pariwisata 2020, 15 million lost their job, potentially lost their job. And then we have new minister actually just recently appointed. So the former tourism minister has been replaced by this Sandiaga Uno. Maybe some of you following Indonesian presidential election at that time. Sandiaga Uno was the opponent of Jokowi in the presidential election last time, 2019. So this person was the vice president from Prabowo. So the candidate also. Now this person is becoming our tourism minister. So he joined the Jokowi government. So in Indonesia, everything can happen because it's politics, as we know. Sometimes can be opponent, sometimes can be friends. But this person now is our tourism minister. Compared to the last minister, Wisnu Tama, maybe some of you have known, Mr. Wisnu Tama is a creative director of the Asian team, Indonesian Asian team. He was a very creative person, very good media coverage and so on. So he was very creative, but he was unable to coordinate our Indonesian tourism as a whole. He was unable to what do you call it, to come to one of the region, and then he was considered as slow in making a movement in terms of tourism in Indonesia. Actually, before the pandemic, there are also still have, or they are on some complaint about the former minister because they are lack of movement, slow in promotion, and so on and so on. So this new minister, hopefully, we hope that he can also do more things in terms of the Indonesian recovery in terms of tourism. Why? Because Sandiaga Uno was experienced entrepreneurs and also is also a politic. He has a great influence in many areas of Indonesia. He has great followers. So hopefully he can make things happen in Indonesian tourism for this coming months. So I share you a bit the condition now in Indonesia, specifically in some of the tourist hubs, especially in Bali. And this one is this is the before COVID-19, as you can see, before COVID-19. I show you some video. Just recorded before COVID-19. Is very iconic. If you go to Bali, you must camp in this place. If you not go to Kuta Beach, is like not complete. It's not like you came to Bali, something like that. So you can see the crowd in Kuta Bali, yeah, just before COVID-19.
peaceful, cheerful, happy atmosphere. It's full of romantic, it's full of memorable. I think it's everything from food from foreign country, join with the local, and they play together, and they wait together, and they're happy together. They, it's the peace. Like it's like in heaven. It, in true in the afternoon, I think around that. So if you want to see this beautiful thing, it's a magical thing. Then
Okay, so there are so many crowd in Bali, in Kuta Bali every day, yeah, before COVID-19. Now, now I'll show you. This is the recent conditions at this moment at the COVID. As you can see, this is the tourist hub that is really crowded. Now, the Pantai Kuta, the recent condition of Kuta.
There you go, guys. Hey, guys.
Bule is what we call it, matsale in Indonesia, we call it as bule. So this person is one of the bule or foreigners that still in Bali because he is working or yes, we cannot go back to their country at the moment. So there are two types of tourists, foreign tourists in Bali. They are working there because before COVID they are working there, or they cannot go back to the country at the moment. So you can see the huge difference where before COVID and during COVID. So this is unusual situation when you go to Bali. Not many people went to the beach.
Anyway, these are local. I don't see any tourists. Could there be guys some local tourists? Yeah, there's some local tourists. But is there any expats, foreigners, who lays here? I don't think so. I think so. There's one there. One there. One there. One all the beach, right? Who's here? I see one other foreigner here. I don't see anyone else. Really very excited, going to be setting in Bali. If you don't have this beach to yourself, and I didn't expect I would. It's a big city, very popular. Again, I just wanted to give you guys, I wanted to do a video where we covered a bunch of beaches in Bali, not just one beach. You got to see. Oh.
So that's the conditions of Indonesian tourism. Is this the extreme one, as in Kuta Bali? So we are suffering in terms of business. In terms of transport business, no tourist means no business. And then in the restaurant business, of course, there are still people buying food. Delivery of food is still going on, but there are less dine-in customer in the restaurants. This the impact. Even in Indonesia, the big players also adapting to survive. Before that, you cannot imagine that KFC are selling food in the street, and also Pizza Hut is one of the big brands of pizza. You will not see them selling in the street. But now this is a usual situation now because they are trying to survive. Yeah, Pizza Hut and KFC selling their food in the street. Indonesia needs to recover. So how Indonesian tourism stakeholder in recovery face, how we are facing this pandemic. So we divided the stakeholder into three parts actually: the government, the private business, the Indonesian people. So what are we doing at the moment? What we try to do to recover or to face these challenges? The Indonesian government, they publish a policy to cut and reduce taxes for tourism business. Also have a what we call it incentive for electricity bills, especially for the hotels. And then they also publish a rescheduling payment on the bank loans and financial supports to provide life support aids for tourism workers. As you can see the picture here, they distribute some local some food for the tourism workers. Yeah, they can also give cash. The Indonesian government give cash to the tourism worker affected by COVID, and providing more financial support for startup, especially for tourism-related business. And then the last one, publishing CHSA protocol to be applied in all tourism business. CHSA is a clean, health, safety, and environmental sustainability. So it's a protocol that everyone have to apply if they want to open their business. The government try to make this protocol and distribute it to all over the industry. And if they can apply with that, they are allowed to open. So this is what the Indonesian government try to do to recover the Indonesian economic for tourism. How about the private business? So the private business try to respond back. Yeah, they adapting the prices, giving flexibility on booking and payment, especially for the hotel, and practicing CISA, clean, health, safety, and environment sustainability protocol to minimize the risk of COVID-19. Yeah, the practice is, for example, they have to provide the water, hand sanitizer, iron from in front of their premises. They have to maintain maximum of 50% carrying capacity. They have to maintain the standard of healthy cleanliness in their facility. They have to make sure they are physical distancing in their premises. So this is things that are being endorsed and being promoted over and over again by the government, also by the private business. And then they have to tightly apply HACCP, hazard analysis of critical counterpoint, where used to be they don't really care in this thing, but now they have to as a regulation they have to do it. Yeah, they're creating new sequence or service of business for the guests and creating new product and services. So the private business tried to do their maximum to survive. This is one of the example. Now, actually, if you want to book a hotel or a book in Indonesia, maybe you can book from Booking.com, Traveloka, Expedia. At the moment, you can book now, pay later, or book now, stay later. Yeah, because you will get the cheapest price that you will never experience. Myself, actually, personally, during this pandemic, to be honest, I have traveled twice. In the middle of the year, I went to Jogja, and then just last month, from the Christmas and the holiday, from a New Year, I went to Bali. Yeah. Why? I just want to really experience and know what is the impact of COVID, and I really know that the impact was great because all the area that's supposed to be crowded with tourists are empty. So it was a very devastating moment for me personally because I see the impact is great, this impact. But at the moment, I also try to make use of this condition. So I stay in a hotel that usually maybe is 1 million rupiah or 2 million, but I can get the price for only half of the price. So this is the thing that people usually can do at the moment. But actually, Bali is supposed to increase the domestic traveler for last year. But however, the Bali government, in the last moment, they announced the restrictions. When you go to Bali, you have to show your swab antigen and PCR test. if you want to go to Bali, you have to show to the authority that you are negative, so you don't carry the virus. So you have to do it. And that's why many people cancel the trip to Bali at that time. At that time, I was driving myself, so I also, before go, I test my family and myself. I took the test and they show to the authority and they let me in. They let me into the island because I drive my own car. But many people cancel their flight because of the regulations. So this is what happened just recently last month, the New Year's in Bali. Hotels are facing this condition with their strategy. They're offering flexibility of booking and then communicating their health safety project to the public. They apply new standard protocol. So as you can see, yeah, washing hand and then also body temperature check, and then they have to touchless administrations. Yeah, they have to be equipped with the safety uniforms, and they have to put the mitigation plan for the public in the hotel. Yeah, they have to put the sign everywhere in the hotel. This is the picture of some of the procedures of the hotel that they have to do, not only for not the guests, but also for their own staff. So they have to check their body temperatures and to clean the hotel, the guest room, and so on and so on. In action, in transit visit, almost the same. Yeah, so they apply the cleaning process in the interior, exterior of vehicles. They spray the disinfectant and they apply the all new standard for the crew, the body check of temperature, provide hand sanitizer, and also maintaining physical distancing. So they clean all the public facility. Of course, this can happen if the number of visitors is moderate. But if it is floating, of course, you have the difficulty. But at this moment, the one who's strict is the train. The train operator is very strict, the train operator. The airline, some of the airline are not really complying because some of them, I got a report from my friends. They said, when I went to Jakarta last time, they don't really put the social distancing and so on. But the train, they strictly do the social distancing. The restaurant, what they do, they try to apply highest standard of cleanliness and then HACCP, yeah, during receiving, keeping, and processing their food, provide new healthy menu. Now, one of the culinary business that booming in Indonesia is the healthy menu, spicy, yeah, jamu, or things that dealing with spicy and healthy combination of food. So this menu are increasing the number. Yeah, this is the typical of procedure that I think all of you have notes. They are keeping the social distancing. But this is the next. What the next? The other mode of survival. They try to combine cafe on the bus, but of course, in terms of health, I don't really recommend this because, of course, it still have a possible of transmission in the bus. But they try to do it because people are afraid to dine in. They are asked to join the bus. So this is try to innovate in a way. Yeah? But this is also some of the innovation. They combine the hotel. The hotel are providing the bus, yeah, to go around the city and provide their food in their bus. So they try to do many things to provide new product or services for the guests. And now what happens? Indonesia try to promote domestic traveler more often and put more heavy advertisement in all over the places. This is the example of my friend, one of my friend. We have a lecturer to have one of the tourist operator in Malang, in Indonesia, in East Java. He also brand manager of Air Asia in Malang. So he was a great entrepreneur and also a lecturer in my department. So we created some promotional material. Used to be he sell outbound tour. You take the people to go to outside Indonesia, but now we focus on domestic traveling. This is one of the example of the advertisement that he makes to promote people of Indonesia to travel.
Walaupun situasinya masih terbatas, pergi rame-rame. Atau paman, pergi rame. Di Indonesia rame-rame. Banyak banget destinasinya. Harganya enak banget. Ayo kepoin terus di Instagram. Pergi rame-rame dan ayo. Sekarang saatnya pergi rame-rame. Indonesia rame-rame. Gak pakai mahal.
This one is the picture of promotion in Bromo. So all of the effort of tourism business, especially for travel industry, we try to promote domestic traveling now. Used to be they are selling some of the big players who used to be big in outbound tour. Now they have to sell inbound tour. So they have to create new product, explore new destination in Indonesia to sell the tour inside Indonesia at this moment. So there are many things. So they having a big cluster. Used to be many Indonesian rich people, they go overseas to travel. Yeah, now they are still, because the border is still also closed, they cannot go everywhere. And unfortunately, Indonesian passport is really banned in several countries. So that's why they cannot travel outside Indonesia. So they are pushing to travel in Indonesia. So many people are trying to promote Indonesian in many areas now. So this the last stakeholder is Indonesian people reaction. Indonesia is very unique in terms of Indonesian people. As you can see, we are very diverse in throughout Indonesia. So as one of the stakeholder, Indonesian people reaction is important. At this moment, Indonesia people, we have three types. We have three types of Indonesian people. The first type is the one who said, I will wait everything till everything is over. So I just stay at home until everything is over. I will start to travel again. So this is the type number one. Type number one. And then the type number two, I cannot wait any longer. I will travel responsibly. Yeah, I cannot wait just stay at home. I will travel, but I will travel responsibly. I know my limits. I know I have to do this, that. I have to prepare this, that. Okay, I will travel. Yeah, I cannot stay at home all the time. Yeah, so there are types number two. And then type number three is, I don't care. I travel anyway as it used to be. So these two types of Indonesian people at this moment. Unfortunately, on the beginning of the pandemic, I think Indonesians have this pandemic started around February or March, where we started for the control movement is on March, and until June and July, the type number one is still dominating. And then now, up to until August and September, October, December, type number two increasing in number. Yeah, increasing number. How about type number three? Type number three, the number are the same, but now it's getting higher. I don't care. So this is the dangers. If they are the type number three is increasing in numbers, of course we have difficulty to maintain the condition. But the government try to promote and try to make a policy to control the people movement. But once again, it's the type of the people. Some of the people still having this type. Myself personally, I've been type number one for so many times, and then I changed to type number two. So okay, I will travel responsibly. That's why I went to Bali last time. So because I've been becoming type number 2. Travel type number 2, like I used to do, yeah. So I travel, but of course I use mask. I wear hand. I bring a hand sanitizer all the time in my pocket, always, all the time. Menjaga jarak, I keep distance. Yeah, if there is a crowd, I will not go there. I avoiding crowded. Not only just keep distance, but I also have to avoid crowd. So when I went to Bali last time. When I see a lot of people there, okay, I will not go there. Just another place. So avoiding crowd, and then mengurangi perjalanan. So I have to reduce mobility. Yeah, I go, but not all the time. Before the pandemic, of course, every day go outside, go to cafe, and walk around. But at least during the pandemic, just stay at the hotel, enjoy the hotel, and then if we have to do, we have other food, and we have to move. Yeah, we go around the city, we go around Bali in the car, just enjoying the scenery. So this is the travel type number 2. Masker, new normal, outer. So this is the thing, as you can see. This is the thing that I carry. I even bring my own spoon everywhere. Yes, this is the equipment that I carry all this time as a type number 3. As traveler number 2. But this is the type local tourist type number 3, as you can see. Yeah, this is what happened. It really sad. You know, one of the water boom in Jawa Barat, in Cikarang. Yeah, they give promotion from 95,000 into 10,000 only per ticket, just in the January. Yeah, and what happened? You can see this. No one use masker, physical distancing, of course, not being contained properly. Yeah, crowd, definitely there is crowd. Yeah, so this is the condition of type number 3. Yeah. Okay, so this type number 3 make people the operator has been punished, so they have to are being shut down now at this moment. They have to pay some fine, and maybe some of the operator will be sentenced to jail if they are proven that really they do it purposely. So this is what happened in Indonesia about the stakeholder. So the government have done their best. The public sector, of course, we have to survive. As a tourism business, they have to survive. The domestic tourists or Indonesian people as a traveler, we have to be responsible. We have to travel. If we are not traveling, of course, the tourism economy will not run as fast as we can. But if we stay at home, safe for us, but not good for the industry. So we can go out, but we have to go out responsibly. The key of success I put into 3 as the last one. They have the commitment between the stakeholders, and there also should be a collaboration among the governments and the private sector, and also the participation from the Indonesian people. And there should be a consistency. So there is a regulation. They have to be consistent in maintaining the regulation, and law enforcement has to be maintained tightly. So this triangle have to be done in order to face the Indonesian challenges for COVID-19. So what happened in Indonesia is kind of combination. Yeah, some part of the nation, some of the area, they are good at it. So they have a green zone, no one affected. But in the other part of the region, heavily affected because the diverse of the nations. So what happened next? After all the COVID-19, after COVID crisis, people will be more concerned about health condition. The health insurance will be higher, of course. Self-assurance of traveling will be increased. Travel advisory will be listened and be understood. And for industry, they have to put their mitigation system properly. They have to prepare things better than they used to be, and they have to apply the health and standard safety properly. And now there is a trend that outdoor activity, outdoor destination is increasing in number. Sustainable destination will be the next destination that people are going there. I mean, in Indonesia, for instance, mall is still there, but outdoor spaces, outdoor attraction will be getting more attention because people are aware that outdoor activity are healthier than indoor activity. So sustainable destination will be getting more visitors after the COVID-19. So I will conclude this presentation into this one video. As you know, Indonesian promotion tagline is Wonderful Indonesia. We have two brands. Wonderful Indonesia, we use to promote internationally. So we use that for international traveler come to Indonesia. We always use Wonderful Indonesia. Inside Indonesia, we use Persona Indonesia. To promote domestic traveler, we use Persona Indonesia. Which is the meaning is the same, Wonderful and Persona Indonesia. However, during the COVID-19, the Indonesian put up new campaign, which is, we call it Thoughtful Indonesia. We want to promote that where we care, we know that we are having this pandemic, we care about the safety, but still we have to, we can travel in more safety environment and clean and so on and so on. So we say that we care, we are carefully, we'll take care of you as the visitors. So Thoughtful Indonesia. This is the one of the campaign that they make for this Thoughtful Indonesia campaign.
Berjarak cukup jauh. Berjarak berjarak untuk menjadi karena sejarah kita berbeda pada bumi untuk menata rencana membangun rasa ini. Semua di masa depan yang bagi bangsa dan umat manusia tidak sahih akan selalu untuk dinaikkan di kemudian hari.
Okay, so this is the end of my presentations. I believe that Indonesian tourism will increase again. Yeah, of course, with all the vaccine has been distributed. Hopefully also we can start to visit one another and the border is open. I can also visit Malaysia again. So we are all in this together. Tourism industry will come back stronger. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Agus. So the last slide is Bromo. It's very fascinating. Anyway, I love this place. We have been there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for the very interesting and informative sharing, Dr. Agus. I believe that there are a number of things that we can benefit from the slides and from the presentation. A number of things I think is very similar to the situation in Malaysia. I suppose maybe some of these top people will be sharing information and maybe sharing ideas, things like that. Right. For our what you call it our situation now, let's pray that everything will be okay, inshallah, and so that we can resume our normal life again.
Yes.
For now, we have to be careful with the environment, and then we take care of the environment. We take care of ourselves. We also have to, adapt or adopt the new norm or the new normal in all situations, whether we are in the crowd or without the crowd as well, I would suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now we move on to the next session, which is the Q&A session. What we're going to have, handle now is that I will open the Q&A to everyone, but please switch on your video and your mic, introduce yourself, and then proceed with the question. So I'll take the first question first. Anyone, please? Question? Jangan malu-malu.
I know some students are missing
Yeah,
Indonesia.
many students are here, of course. Some those who have been to your university for mobility also here.
Yes, yes.
Come on, guys. Question. I'm sure you have some question for Dr. Agus.
I will share the slide to Prof. Basri. You can share
Yeah,
the
sure.
participants. Okay.
All right, good. Later on, yeah, please. Or shall I kickstart this the session first, Dr. Agus?
Yes.
One small question for you. Now you see, we are in the we academicians produce students who will be working eventually in the tourism and hospitality industry. How do you see this situation? I mean, the COVID-19 pandemic and the effect after that on the intakes of students and the interest of students want to join the industry. What do you think about it?
Yes, thank you, Prof. This is very interesting questions because this is what's happening now. In our department, we still receiving the number of students who are joining the department. Fortunately, the number is still okay. We don't have experienced a significant drop for people or students who register for tourism. So because we believe that people say tourism is a dynamic one. Of course, it is very, what do you call it? It is very fragile industry. If there is something big, or of course, the number is going down, but it's going up again. So it's a dynamic one, and that's the first one. The second one is, if we look at the track record of tourism's development in globally, the trend is always positive, year by year, always positive. But this pandemic, of course, everything is going negative. But before that, it's going positive. So if this pandemic is over, the trend will be positive again, and even higher than before the pandemic. So this is a prediction, or this assumption is still happening in Indonesia. That's why people still want to study tourism. So we are glad that we are not affected in terms of number. Still, there are people join tourism because of the high hopes of the bounce back of the industry. And we have difficulty in giving the practicum, yeah, practice, because of course we used to have a lab, we have to hands-on experience to teach them in the kitchen, especially for food and beverage production. Now we cannot do it offline, right? So we have to do it online. So we have difficulty on the learning activity, but some students and the lecturer also cope with it, and we try to do our best to deliver the competency. But yeah, we can make it. And the last one, actually interesting one, is the industry, Prof, because we have to put the student to do the internships, because it's part of the complementary. The of the
Compulsory.
objective. Compulsory. Yes, the compulsory subject they have to do the internship in the industry. So we switched the industry experience at the last semester, but of course, once again, the pandemic is not over yet, right? So what happened is we offer the student, okay, you can go to the industry, but as long as your parents allow you to do so, and the industry is safe, we select the industry, and then now some of them are doing the internships. Some of them do internship there in Bali, in Jakarta. So still, but of course by the consent of the parents, by the approval of the parents, and we have to do more works because we have to control them every time to check what their condition and so on and so on. But we have to do it because it's compulsory things that they have to do. Otherwise, they will lose their competency. So that's the thing we have to do in the education, Prof. I believe. I
Right.
think that's the answer.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Indeed, you are right there. I mean, when the industry, I call it change, we have to change a bit as well. I mean, to suit the situation and all that. But of course, as you mentioned in your being affected or the industry is affected in some way, and people believe that it will bounce back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, please. I think Mardia is there. Do you want to ask question?
Yes. Assalamualaikum. My name is Mardia Zahra. I'm hospitality student. I have a question. How would this pandemic affect the face-to-face service in the industry?
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you for the questions, Mardia. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Face-to-face connection usually in the industry, if we're talking about hospitality, usually happen when the process of check-in, or the simple thing is the process of check-in, when people handed their passport or their ID, and they have to sign some document. So this is the conventional way of doing that, right? Or the reception. Even if when you go to the airline, they have to show you their ID card and they have to check it. So this is the possibility of what do you call it, of touching. I mean, in terms of document. So they try to put it touchless services. So in the hotel, they are allowed, okay, just show your ID, and they take a photograph, or they scan, or they have to buy before it. So they just check the registration. You just have to show your ID without touching the ID. So they try to produce a more new standard of doing things. But of course, I have to be honest that not all hotel doing that. The 5-star hotel, yes, they are doing it. But the budget hotel, some of the guest house, they don't really do it because they don't have the technology. They don't have the ability to understand why they are doing it. So this is what happened. The touchless contact or services is being done. Example, in a restaurant. So some of the restaurant put their menu on the QR code. So they can scan, and they know. But of course, that happen only for the big restaurant. But the pot, warung, they don't do that. They just do it as usual as they know. So what happened? We have to be aware by ourselves as traveler. So as a traveler, we are hoping to have more type 2 traveler. The traveler that aware of the conditions, they're aware of the situation. They have to make sure they are in safety and the other people's safety. So this is what's happening. Some of them doing the touchless service, but some of them don't. Not yet. If I say done, we maybe, yeah, but they are not yet doing it. So this is the condition at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For the question and answers by the Dr. Agus. Okay, next.
Yeah. I have question. Will the service quality
Question, please.
level?
Can take more
Yeah.
questions.
Yes, there is a question in the chat box from
So the
Saida.
question is, will the service? All right. So will the service quality level decreases due to the different service approach or the new normal in the industry?
Yeah, in terms of service quality, I'm not saying decreasing. I really rather say that increase in the level of service. Why? Because we put more attention on cleanliness and healthy and comfortable. The comfort of the customer will put into great considerations. The service quality increase because they are concerned more on the safety issue. That's why THSA, as I told you before, is a must protocol that every industry have to do. They have to give hand wash facility and clean the place, disinfectant. They have to make sure everybody have to make a masker and so on and so on. So if in my opinion, the service quality increase because of the situation. People are more aware about health and cleanliness. So this is the awareness of cleanliness. To be honest, again, some of the part in Indonesia, they don't really care about that. But now they care. So the quality of service increase in terms of pandemics. In a way, yeah, in a good thing is if I can say, it's the good things like that.
Yeah, I think that's quite true. I mean, a bit. In certain areas, the quality of service may increase, although we have sort of like some issues in terms of, like the first question was about the face-to-face things and all that.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like you mentioned, the safety and all that, people are more concerned. The operator will be more concerned and all that. Okay. All right.
Maybe in terms
Any more question, please? Yeah. Sorry.
I want to add that one.
Yeah.
Maybe in
Please.
terms of face-to-face, if we believe that service, we see less staff. Yes, that will, if it is influencing our perception of the hotel or the industry. Yes, we assume we can see that. So, for example, in the breakfast area, the breakfast, when it used to be we have many waiters serve us, right? No, we have limited staff to cater, and then so we have to do all ourselves. So we have to take the food ourselves. We don't really easy to ask the waiter to take the food for us and so on and so on. So in terms of the number of staff, maybe some tourists will feel that, oh, the staff, the service is decreased, and that's the first. And the second, maybe in terms of the reduced cost, many hotels reduce electricity. So they put down the unnecessary light and turn off the unnecessary air conditioner. That's why they think that maybe, what this is, they don't put on their aircon. Why the light is off, so and so on. So this thing may end with the perception that they have decreased their quality. But in a way, people are aware that now we understand. At the beginning, they have the assumption of this decreasing quality, but now they are understand. The tourists understand. Even okay, I understand that this is the pandemic situation. You do turn on the aircon because the health condition is better to use the fan or outdoor activity. They don't really care about that. So this is what happened, bro. Okay. Question from Bella. Hi, Bella. I have a question. Last time I went to Bromo, they have no social distancing.
Okay. All right. You want to read or I read? I read, then why I read? I'm the chairperson that's supposed to read this. Okay. I have question. Last time I went to Bromo Mount, they have no social distancing, and most of educator worry about the environment of Mount. So what is your opinion? It can be good to have COVID, so Bromo Mount can be sustainable, which means maybe she means that if COVID happened there, they can relax. I mean, the mountain can recuperate or something like that. Yeah.
I believe that actually this pandemic also have a positive side of it in terms of the natures. So some of the nature destination like Bromo, we closed Bromo for a long time. So they just currently open Bromo maybe for last 2 months. On December they close it again. For New Year they close. So at least for the nature, yes, I believe it's good for the nature to have their time. I mean, to recover, for the nature to recover, the scent of Bromo can come again. So not only Bromo, but all the nature destination in all over the world, they have time to be recover after mass tourism. They're receiving a lot of cares, a lot of visitors. Now they have time to recover themselves, to freshen themselves, to get what you call it, to increase their charm. So in terms of Bromo, now the grass is greener. Yeah, the tree are lebih subur because less people going there. So this is what happened. Good for the nature. For ecotourism is a moment of rejuvenate. In terms of recovery of the nature. Of course, in terms of economic, if that is happening all the time, of course, it's bad for the economic. So we have to put balance on it. This is the challenge of Indonesian tourism at the moment.
Yeah, of course. I think it goes to the rest of the world as well. I mean, plus and minus side during this COVID-19 or this pandemic. There are also stories or things that people viral that some rivers in Malaysia even getting better during the lockdown, things like that. I mean, it happens. It plus and minus there, like you mentioned that some industries win, some industry lose, things like that. All right. So I guess this is a way of either the God or the nature sustain itself. I mean, I mentioned about this sustainable thing. Okay, we take one or two more questions. I think one more question. All right. Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Hannah from hospitality student. I have a question. In your opinion, will the tourists get their confidence to travel abroad after the introduction of the vaccine? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question, Hannah. Well, to be honest, Indonesian people are, because as you can see, I say there are 3 types of Indonesian people, right? So most of us are waiting to travel. Most of us are waiting to travel. Whether type 1, type 2, or type 3, all of us are waiting to travel. The level of confidence is fastened for the type 3 and 2, of course. Yeah, if the border is open, for Indonesian tourists, I believe strongly that Indonesian will go overseas. Yeah, if the border is open for them. So and then the vaccine came. If the vaccine came and distributed, then the level of confidence definitely increased. Without the vaccine, they have the confidence to go out. Then added the vaccine. Actually, we are glad the first batch now is being distributed for all the medical for doctor, nurses, medical department. They receive the first batch of vaccines. The second batch is the army, the policemen, so the people who work in the governments, who really the guardian of the nation, they have the second batch. The third batch is the educators. So like myself, the lecturer, and all the guru teachers in Indonesia will be the third batch because they think that we have to recover the education as fast as we can in terms of offline learning. So yeah, that's what situation happening in Indonesia.
Okay, we have another 2 questions here. We take the first one here. Hi, doctor. My name is Hazik from Due to COVID-19, hospitality and tourism industry are too crucial and affected. Okay, affected. What he means, I think, is affected. What things can we promote to encourage other students to take these courses? Okay.
To take the tourism course.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, tourism hospitality courses.
Yeah, if I may say so, that tourism is always a growing industry. Yeah, if it is a dynamic one, yes, we are and we know that we understand this is a dynamic industry, but it's a growing industry. We have to look at the history. We have to look at back to see the future, because we can encourage others to take the tourism, because it will going up again. Of course, in Malaysia, of course, when the border is open, you will receive a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
Many Indonesian people miss teh tarik and roti canai, original roti canai. Yeah. So
That's right.
I
I am
think it
sure you
will
missed that.
bounce back. Yeah. Yeah. So I
Okay.
think by saying that one, you can promote people to take tourism subject.
All right. That goes to the next question. I suppose this will be our last question here. I'm quote from UM. I think I go both
Cool.
together. Just wanted to ask your opinion on the tourism industry of post-COVID phase. Do you think the industry will rise slowly or fastly or quickly? And should it be rise quickly during the post-COVID phase, or could it be rise quickly during the COVID
Okay.
phase? And I think I proceed with the next question. This one
Yes,
will be the
yes.
last one because we are running out of time.
It's okay. The last
I'm
one you can.
Atika.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am Atika from What other method to do in hospital industry to stay alive if the COVID plug never settled? Thank you. Oh, this is very extreme question. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Dr. Agus.
Okay, thank you. So from Kur, hi Kur. So based on the experience, I'm talking about Indonesian context, yeah. Based on
Yeah.
based on our experience, the industry will rise faster, and if in the condition if the vaccine is distributed, yeah, it will fast. I mean, it will not slowly but fast in terms of people are traveling again. Yeah, in terms of international trust is another condition. So what I mean is, in terms of Malaysia people, for example, to visit Indonesia, maybe takes time, maybe a little bit slow. So domestic travel will increase faster than international traveling in the Indonesian case. So when everything is going good and the vaccine is distributed, Indonesian people can travel, the domestic number or domestic travel will increase rapidly. But the international tourists will increase slower than the domestic. This is what's happening. After the last vote of confidence, and they see if the what happened in Indonesia for 6 or a year, they look at, oh, no, the Indonesia is safe because the people are now the what we call it, the number of conformity is going low and lower every day. It is safe to travel and the border is open, of course, start to come again. So, but once again, international traveling slow, domestic traveling fast. This is my opinion. And then the last one, what other method to do in hospitality industry? So this is the what our president said, Pak Jokowi said, that we have to live side by side with the COVID. So this is what they proclaim at the first. So it means that we have to get used to it. We have to be more traveler number 2. Yeah, if it is longer than we expected. So of course, if we becoming traveler number 1, of course, tourism will suffer in the long run. It will suffer. But if we are becoming traveler number 2, I think we can survive. Yeah, we can prolong the hospitality industry, and at the time, eventually, all of us can travel back to normal. So that's why it's called a new normal. A new normal is traveling with different attitude, different standard of protocol, different quality of service. So that's the new normal of traveling. I think that's all, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Agus. So this conclude our session. What we can take from this talk or this session is that what we have faced now, we will see a lot of I call it trouble, problems, things like that. But despite this COVID-19, eventually the industry will bounce back. when we have, of course, number one, when we have this vaccine being introduced everywhere nowadays coming up, even in Malaysia will be end of this month, I suppose. And then the confidence level will increase based on that. But of course, also, as you mentioned, we have three types of people there. So people might be traveling if the border opens, if the situation getting a bit better. People will try to travel cautiously. All right, and then mostly the government, I think in terms of tourism, will now start bouncing back with the domestic tourism. All right, so I think that's the gist of what Dr. Agus has mentioned to us. Right, so that's it for this session. Again, I would like to thank Assistant Professor Dr. Agustinos for his time and for his information sharing. And hopefully we will see each other again, all of us, with another talk session. And for that, thank you very much. All the best. Please stay safe and take care.